All right, y'all, today I've got another great weed control option for you that's available at retailers like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Ace, and is formulated specifically for us homeowners. It's a specialty herbicide for use in St. Augustine, Bermuda grass, centipede, and zoysia.
It's got a specific name that says what it does.
It's called Image Nutsedge Killer for southern lawns. And for 2025, it's got an updated look and a tweak in the name, going from this bottle called Image Kills Nutsedge now to the updated modern design you see here. And again, it's officially called Image Nutsedge Killer for southern lawns. Now, the formulation has not changed. It's the exact same product, just with this cool midnight blue and neon green matrix raining code color scheme, which brings me to another question that I know that you're going to ask, and that is, hey, Alan, how does the Image Nutsedge Killer compare to the Image for southern lawns, the one with the midnight and neon purple text? Well, first off, this one here with the purple text, it kind of has vibes more like Blade Runner, whereas the midnight blue and the neon green, like I said, that's more like a Matrix Reloaded kind of feel. Hey, yo, Hayne, listen, man, I'm not talking about the looks, even though the colorways, they are super cool. I was actually asking about their uses, the purple versus the green. How can they each be used? That's what I wanted to know. Bro, I'm so sorry about that. I totally misunderstood you. So I've actually got a very detailed video I made talking about the Image for southern lawns here, the purple text, and I'll link that below for you. In short, this is your all-around broadleaf weed control for the lawn. There are nearly 100 weeds listed on the label that are controlled with this product. Image Nutsedge Killer, on the other hand, it says what it does. It kills sedges. Over here in the Tampa Bay area, over by Bradenton, we actually have a sedge problem, and it actually goes by its own name. It's called Kyllinga. During the rainy season, Kyllinga sedges, they can get so dense that they resemble turf grass and absolutely will outcompete your turf, even aggressive St. Augustine and Bermuda grasses. Now, this is especially true in areas that stay wetter for longer periods of time. All sedges, including Kyllinga, they thrive in wet conditions. The thing about it is, here in Florida right now, it rains every day, and the water table, it's just super high right now. Oftentimes, it takes 24 hours or more for the water to drain out of these lawns. And that means that the entirety of the lawns here, they're constantly wet all day long for days on end. When that happens, sedges like Kyllinga thrive, while turf grasses, they recede from sitting with wet feet for too long. Now, there are other sedges that Image Nutsedge Killer works on, including yellow nutsedge, which is probably the most common one around, as well as purple nutsedge. All in all, Image Nutsedge Killer targets and eliminates about 30 weeds, and 6 of those are sedges of one variety or another. Now, one side note here, Image Nutsedge Killer is not to be used on Bahia grass. And in fact, oftentimes I get questions from you guys about how do I get rid of Bahia grass in, say, Bermuda, zoysia, or St. Augustine grass? And the answer is Image Nutsedge Killer will eliminate Bahia too. The more you know. Next, let's look at how it actually works. You can actually find the active ingredient right down here in the lower corner, and you can see it's called imazaquin. Imazaquin is a group 2 herbicide. Chemicals in this class are known as ALS inhibitors, and they act by halting amino acid production within cells. This leads to chlorosis, halted growth, and eventual plant death within several days to weeks. Now, it's a systemic herbicide, which means it gets inside the targeted plant through leaf tissue and roots and is translocated throughout, utilizing the plant's own xylem and phloem highways. This mobility allows it to reach meristematic tissues. These are the actively growing dividing regions at shoot and root tips, and that's where cell growth is most vigorous, and there it shuts them right down. This actually starts happening fairly quickly. You should see visible results on sedges like Kyllinga in just a few days, but full death can take a few weeks as the active gets all the way down and into the underground rhizomes and the nutlets. Let's go mix them up and spray, and then I'll show you the result. All right, let's go with a little different angle this time. Mixing this up, so here I have the Image Nutsedge Killer. I'm going to be doing like a spot zone spray, and so on the label it's going to tell me that my rate is 2.5 ounces per gallon, and to spray the weeds until wet. It's right there. I'll put it on the screen for you. So that's what we're going to do. First thing, we're going to use a finer mist tip, so I call that the red fan tip. Now I'm only going to mix up 1 gallon here, and yes, I still have the leaky nozzle here. I'm only going to be mixing up 1 gallon of spray mix, and that is because I don't have a lot here. I don't have a big area to do. So I fill up halfway with water first, so I have about a half a gallon of water in there currently. Now we're going to get our mix. Now, one thing that I didn't show you on the last video is that this little cup right here is actually a mixing cup, and it does have demarcations in there: 1 ounce, 2, 3, and 4. So you can actually use the midnight blue cup top as your measuring device. All right, now we're going to go ahead and fill this up to the 1 full gallon mark. So that was 2.5 ounces of concentrate. Let's see, where we at? Can you see it right there? 1 gallon. So there we are. Agitate. Let's go ahead and clear out the line here. Okay. You see me mixing up the concentrate here in my backpack sprayer. This is my preferred method when I'm treating areas or zones. PPE is rubber gloves, long sleeves, pants, socks plus shoes. All right, y'all, so let me show you some results. Now, I don't actually have Kyllinga in my lawn this year, so I sprayed a little section of my neighbor's right here. So I'm gonna show you the results that I got. Now, it's been about a month, and I'll tell you why. So remember, I told you Image Nutsedge Killer, it works systemically. Well, this one does absorb through leaf tissue, but if you read the label, it actually tells you that it mostly absorbs through roots, so you gotta get it watered in. And what you'll see, this area right here, let me back up. This area right here was riddled with Kyllinga Nutsedge, and I sprayed it, and again, it's been about a month. And we'll go in here and you won't be able to find any more. It's all gone. It's just gone. Now, like I said, you do see a little bit of, browning at the tips within a week or so. The little spurs or seed pods or whatever those things are, they'll turn brown, but really it's killing from the ground up. So what happens is you just end up mowing over 3 or 4 weeks, and then you'll come back and all of a sudden there's none left. It's just gone. And to show you, I only sprayed this section right here. If we go over here where I didn't spray, you will see this section right here is still riddled with Kyllinga. See it right there? So that just shows. See it all in here? Because I didn't spray this area. So that's like our check or our test, right? Our control group or whatever. Full of nutsedge there, Kyllinga. And again, you come back over here, none to be found anywhere. And so that's really the best way that I can show you the result. And keep in mind, like I said, this product needs to get down into the soil. So read the label. I'm gonna tell you, you learn so many things about getting better results when you read labels. So there you go, there's your before and after on the Image Nutsedge Killer. Works great, takes about a month overall, and you'll go out one day and all of a sudden, it's just all gone. And there you go. Now, if you happen to have a really bad Kyllinga or sedge infestation where it's covering your entire lawn and you need a blanket spray, you could use the concentrate in the backpack like I was doing here, but there's also instructions on the label for using the old school ortho-dialing spray, or you can get the Image Nutsedge Killer here in its own hose and sprayer version. Just hook it up to the hose and go. This will cover up to 6,000 square feet. So there you go, a specialty herbicide made just for us, and it works great. That's Image Nutsedge Killer. Now, I'll leave some helpful links to their product pages and label in the description below for you. Let me know in the comments below, have you used Image Nutsedge Killer and what have your results been? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the lawn.